Oh, hello. Yes, I am making the world's best salsa. Well, that's the title of the recipe. But you know what? I've been making a point to be more optimistic and give things a chance. So I'm not going to rule out the possibility that it just might be. And if it is the world's best salsa, this is going to be a really groundbreaking day. And we might get famous overnight, so prepare yourself for that. Sure. You know you can ask me anything, anytime. You scrumptious mini muffin. Oh, is this about that thing? Well, you were acting kind of pensive the last few days, and you said you wanted to tell me about it, but you weren't sure how to yet. And I told you to take your time and talk to me when you feel you're ready. And you think you're ready now? Okay. I am listening. I am all ears. Oh, they seem nervous. Poor thing. I hope they don't think I'll be mad. Broken items can be fixed, and mistakes can be mended. Nothing they have said to me has ever shocked or surprised me. No one's perfect, and I wish they wouldn't hold themselves to that kind of unreachable standard. I wonder what it is they want to tell me. Look, I know you said you were ready to talk about it, but if you're still not, that's okay. You just seem really unsure. You want to? Okay. I know. But you don't have to say everything, right? Just talk to me and we'll figure it out together. Yes, I remember you went to see your therapist a few days ago. You said you had a great appointment that answered a lot of questions for you. You got diagnosed with something? Okay. You've been afraid I'll see you differently if you tell me about it? Well, baby, I love you so much. Ever since we got together, I've enjoyed every minute I got to spend around you. And before you went into that appointment, and after you walked out, nothing about who you are has changed. You're just learning more about yourself. And, if you want, I'd like to learn more about you too. You found out you have autism spectrum disorder? ASD. Doesn't that run in your family? Okay. You don't know why it was so hard to tell me? Well, there's a lot of misinformation out there about autism. Some information has had to be updated over the years as we learn more about it, and some of the stuff floating around was just never true. How do you feel about it? About getting this official diagnosis? I know you've spent a lot of time online researching the way you feel, but what is it like to finally know for sure? Overwhelmed? Relieved? Curious? So, things you've always done, things that seem routine to you, you now have found out that they're due to autism? Is it kind of strange to find out that other people don't think the same way or don't do the same things as you? Okay, so you've always known you felt a little different. You just didn't know how or what it meant. I can understand that it would not be obvious all the time. I might wear earplugs because I just don't like loud music. It hurts my ears. But for you, there's more to it than that. You might feel like the loud noise is making your brain too excited and it can cause a lot of stress. Oh, yeah. You've never liked when there are a lot of different sources of noise happening at the same time. Like sports events or the fair, with the music and the shouting and the people talking all at once. That's a lot to try to deal with. I know that sometimes if it's all too much, you like to have somewhere you can go where it's quiet and the light is dimmer so you can decompress. Oh yeah, your comfy corner here at home with the blankets. That's true. I always just thought of that as something that you did, but I guess not everyone needs a comfy corner. I think it's pretty cool that you figured out that helps you feel better. Are there any other behaviors you talked to your therapist about that you realized are neurodivergent? Is that the word? Oh, yeah. You hate when your hands have stuff on them. I know getting dirt or something sticky on your skin really bothers you, but even if it's just lotion that hasn't been absorbed into your skin yet, it seems to really get to you. That makes sense. Thank you for taking the time to explain some things to me. If it's okay, I'll keep asking questions and we can just keep learning together. I'd love to know how I can best support you. That's a really good question, though. How can I best support you? What can I do to make things easier for you? Oh, yeah, of course. It might take a little while for you to figure out what you need and what helps you. You can tell me anytime you feel overwhelmed or if you need anything. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so you said you're feeling kind of unsure. Like there was a big secret being kept your whole life you just found out about. It doesn't change who you are, but it explains a lot of who you are. And that could be a lot to process. You're still the same person to me. It feels like you belong somewhere now. Yeah, I could see that. Always feeling a little on the outside. If you think and act in a way a lot of other people can't understand, that could feel pretty lonely. But now you know there are other people who are very similar to you. They understand you without you having to explain or pretend to be different to fit in. Hey, I love you so much. You are who you are. You're a wonderful person. You're fun to be around. You're a lovely soul. You treat me so well. I couldn't ask for anything more. As we all grow up and learn more about ourselves, we have names and categories to organize all this information in our heads. But it doesn't define us. It's actually the other way around. We are who we are. And we can use terms and labels to explain that, but the terms don't change us. They're just words. Just language, another way to express how we feel and why we do what we do. I am really excited you're getting answers. I know you've had questions for so long. It can feel really good to start to understand. And you don't have to accept all of this right now. Take your time and get used to it. I want you to feel like you can always come to me and talk about it. No. No. Of course not. I will never get tired of you. If this is something on your mind, I want you to be able to share it with me. You could never talk too much. No, I like hearing what you have to say. That explains why recently you've been asking me about stuff you do. Well, remember you were tapping your fingers together and you asked me if you've always done that? Oh, you thought you might just have started doing that because you found out you have autism? So you worry you're not autistic enough? And you worry you're too autistic. Oh, you finally feel like you belong somewhere, so now you're worried you might not belong after all? Huh. That sounds a lot like imposter syndrome, but for autism. Imposter syndrome is where you feel like everyone around you has credibility, but you don't. Like you're an imposter who doesn't belong, and someone's going to call you out and say you've been faking all along. It's a really common feeling. It happens to people in business all the way to art, jobs, relationships. It can stem from a fear of believing we're not good enough and don't deserve chances to do big things. But it's not true. You are enough. You just have to be yourself the way that you are. And that's enough. And, not everyone can get a diagnosis. It can be a really long journey or hard to get, Sometimes it's expensive or people just don't have access to that kind of information. Doesn't mean you don't belong. Autism is a spectrum, so you're never going to be exactly like someone else who has it. There are tons of factors, but remember, you are you, and you are enough. And you have been tapping your fingers like that ever since I've known you. It's not something you just started doing because you're trying to fit in. It's a lot for you to think about right now. But to me, nothing has changed. I'm glad you feel like you can talk to me about this. And it's okay if I keep asking you questions too, right? I'd love to know more about you, so I know how I can be there for you in the ways that you need it most. Okay. You feel relieved? That's good, baby. You feel like a person again. Oh, like you can just be yourself and not have to pretend to be somebody else. Good. Because I like who you are. Now, would you like to try some of the world's best salsa?